7 exercises you can do in 25 minutes that will activate your run-specific muscles so you can get stronger, run faster, and enjoy lifelong injury-free running. I'm Dr. Duane Scotti, running physical therapist, run coach, host of the Healthy Runner podcast, and founder of Spark Healthy Runner. And my mission is to preserve the health and longevity of runners everywhere by allowing them to get stronger, run faster, and enjoy lifelong injury-free running. This efficient 25-minute level 1 strength workout for runners is my Spark 7. And you can follow along with me as I talk you through each of the exercises. And these are my top 7 exercises for runners to begin to strengthen their run-specific muscles. These exercises will help teach your muscles how to work through activation and stabilization, because we need to turn the muscles on first before we can strengthen them with future exercise progressions. This is the starting point. And although these exercises might not seem the most fun, they are effective at really getting the awareness that your body needs in learning how to turn these muscles on, which is essential that we activate before we actually add load with future strengthening exercises. Which runners should actually do this exercise series? So when would you pull this out? When is it best to do this? Number 1, if you've never done strength training for runners before, maybe you've done like a standard kind of gym machine circuit, you've done like a standard boot camp class, this is going to teach you how to activate your run-specific muscles. Number 2, if you're currently dealing with an injury, maybe you're getting rehab by another medical practitioner, I would just caution to make sure that none of these exercises actually increase the specific pain that you are currently rehabbing. Typically, honestly, these probably won't, as these are usually rehab-specific exercises that I give a lot of the clients that I'm working with through a running-specific injury. But just putting that disclaimer out there, make sure they're not increasing any of your specific pain. Number 3, if you recently recovered from an injury, so you're discharged from PT, and you're looking to bridge the gap back into training, back into kind of your previous strength training program, this is a great place to kind of bridge that gap. Number 4 is if you're starting to feel an ache, tightness, a niggle, and you're just a little concerned, hey, I don't want this to turn into a full-blown injury, then this would be a great time to kind of pull this workout out and actually still activate your run-specific muscles, but you're a little bit more conservative. You're really not going to do any harm. And then number 5 has been super helpful for those clients I'm working with who are really building toward races, is during peak weeks in training. So when the mileage is at its highest, right? You're doing your longest long runs, you're doing your hardest speed workouts, then this can be a real effective time during peak seasons of training, because these aren't aggressive exercises that are going to increase the load, increase the risk of getting an injury, and also allow your body to recover, because recovery is a part of the training. And they're going to still be able to keep those running specific muscles turned on so you don't develop any muscle imbalances and then get an injury as you're kind of tapering down. And then the other time is like taper time. So it's kind of peak weeks of training and then heading into taper before a race. So those would be the 5 instances where this workout could be extremely helpful for you as a runner. Now let's get into these exercises. 7 exercises to activate your run-specific muscles. This is going to be where we start for strength. First exercise, guys, is going to be the fire hydrant. You're going to put your mini band around just above your knees, and you're going to kick out to the side and back. So more on a diagonal, almost like a 45-degree angle out and back. And you're going to hold it. This is an isometric exercise to activate the glute max. You should feel a nice little burning on the back outside part of your hip. So you're going to drive your belly button up to the spine. We're going to do it with the opposite leg now. You're going to go up and out to the side, not straight out to the side, not straight back, right in between, 45-degree on a diagonal. Notice how my foot is not high either. I'm not kicking high. You don't need to kick very high here. If you kick high, then you're going to wind up arching your back or rotating your spine. You want to really just use that glute. Feel that burn. And now we're going to do a second rep. So we're going to go 20-second hold, back with the left leg, out and back. Make sure that you are not kicking too high. Your back, your spine is nice and flat, and you're really feeling a nice burning sensation in the glute max. And you'll notice that you feel it more with the longer that you hold it. So if you can't get 20 seconds, that's okay. You will work up to that. So start where you're starting out right now. You will be able to do longer and longer as you work on this. The other thing I want to note is notice how my wrists are positioned in a neutral position by using my fists. So that will be easier on your wrist than doing a flat hand. All right, we got the glute max turned on. So we're going to get to our second exercise, guys, and it is the clamshell. Keep your band right where it is. Lie on your side. You're going to bring your knees, you're going to rotate them up, hold for a second, and down nice and slow. Rotate up and down nice and slow. This is going to target the deep hip external rotators, like your piriformis muscle is the big one. You also get the gluteus medius as well as the glute max. And we're going to do 12 repetitions of this. If this is a little too hard for you with the band, that's okay. Start without the band. That's where I usually start most of my runners anyway. But if you can use the band with good form, then that's totally fine. We're going to do 12 repetitions total and really bring it up, squeeze, and down nice and slow. All right, that's 12. Let's turn it around. So we're going to perform on the opposite leg, and you're going to rotate up, making sure that you're not rotating your shoulder and your spine back. Notice how I'm kind of staying home. I'm rotated forward, and I'm opening the knee up and around is what I want you to think of. Not just up to the ceiling. Think up and around. So you feel it deep in your butt area. And you're going to hold for that split second at the top. And then notice how I don't allow my knees to touch at the bottom because I'm maintaining tension on those muscles. So we're getting good control of the muscles. We're not using momentum. We're not using herky-jerky movements, right? We want to be able to activate and isolate these muscles. You should feel that deep burn. Last rep here, and then we're going to repeat for a second set. So we're going to flip back over to the first side. And we're going to open it up, squeeze at the top, and down nice and slow. If you're not sure where you should feel this or you're not feeling it, do a little poking there. You saw me kind of poking my butt area. That's some nice tactile input that you can give to the system, especially if you've recently had hip pain, recently had knee pain. It's very common for these muscles to go into shutdown mode. They get inhibited whenever we have pain. So that's the whole goal and the rationale for this is to activate them. We're teaching our brains how to send the signals down to the muscles. That is going to be the goal of this whole exercise series. That's why this is foundational. We're teaching our body how to actually activate our run-specific muscles. These are the muscles that we use when we are running. So last couple of reps here, guys. Squeeze it. Down slow. All right, switch. Last set of the clamshell. This in particular exercise is going to be fantastic if you've ever had a history of knee pain, whether it's IT band syndrome, whether it's runner's knee, or if you've had a history of inside ankle pain, posterior tibial tendinopathy, and even plantar fasciitis for those of you who are overpronators, because this muscle group really helps prevent collapsing when we're running. So it's like our anti-pronation muscle up at the hip. So for those of you who kind of heard about pronation, arch supports, things like that, by strengthening your hip muscles, you can actually prevent a lot of that motion that goes on down lower at the foot and ankle when we run. Last couple of reps here, you should be feeling a nice burning deep in your hip area. And we're going to get to the third exercise, one of my favorites, the humbler I like to call it. It's sideline hip abduction. You're going to lie against the wall, back against the wall, heel against the wall. Rotate forward a little bit so your hip is actually not touching the wall. You're going to slide up, hold for a second at the top, and down nice and slow. Slide up the wall, down nice and slow. Slide it up and down slow. We're going to try 12 reps of this, and you should be feeling this right where that arrow is, right on the outside back part of your hip. That is the posterior fibers of the gluteus medius muscle. Super important for running. This is the muscle we use when we're standing on one leg. So it helps keep our pelvis level when we run. And commonly, a lot of runners are dominant in their TFL in the front part. So we don't want to feel this in the front. We should be feeling this in the back. All right, we're going to flip around and switch legs. And we're going to try 12 repetitions with the other leg. Heel, slightly point the toes upward. You notice how I kind of rotated the leg there, and then slide up the wall. Make sure that you're staying home in the upper body. Notice how my shoulder is forward, right? So I want to make sure that my heel is behind my hip when I slide up the wall. Super important. That's maintaining a hip extended posture that helps isolate the glute medius muscle. And so you're not compensating with the front hip muscle, the TFL. So if you're feeling this in the front of your hips, you're probably not staying home and rotating forward enough. All right, so make sure the hips, the pelvis is forward and your heel is behind your hip. Last couple of reps here. Bring it up, squeeze, down nice and slow. All right, second set, here we go. Flip back over. We're gonna put the heel against the wall. Turn the toe slightly upward. Slide up, down nice and slow. Slide it up, down nice and slow. Now, one thing here, I know a lot of you are going to say, I don't have anywhere in my house that I can have a wall space that I can do this. So you don't necessarily need the whole wall space that you're seeing here. As long as you have like 2 to 3 feet where the heel is going to slide up on that arc is totally enough wall space. All right, so try to get creative, look around your homes. Sometimes if you close like a bedroom door or something, you might be able to do it there. You might be able to do it like the side of a dresser or a bureau, like I've done it there before. So you just need really a small space and make sure that you're in a straight line. All right, guys, last time we're gonna flip back over, second set on the opposite side, heel against the wall, slide it up, hold for a second at the top, down nice and slow. And then when you're coming down, notice how my foot is not going far past the horizontal. So you're kind of bringing it slightly below the hip and then slide it back up. You're not resting at the bottom, right? Because we don't want to take tension off of the muscle. We're maintaining that tension on the muscle the whole time and really isolating that glute medius muscle. Feel the burn. Yeah. I know it looks easy, right? But it actually feels a lot different. And that's why I call it the humbler. It will humble the best of you who think you got really strong hips. But excellent isolation exercise to learn how to activate the gluteus medius muscle. Last rep here. Here we go. Awesome job. All right. Fourth exercise, the elevated single leg bridge. What you're going to do is you're going to put your foot on a bench or a couch, a sofa, something elevated. And you're going to drive up, squeeze the glute, and come down nice and slow. Notice the control on the way down. Squeeze the glute. I kind of poke there to get some tactile input. We're going to do 6 reps of this. And we're going to switch back and forth between our legs for 2 sets. The goal here, the rationale, is to activate and strengthen the glute max as well as the hamstring muscle group. Come down nice and slow. So this is an elevated single leg bridge with slow lowering. And we're going to switch sides. So that was 6. So now, foot placement. I want to make a comment here. Notice how my heel is not on top of the bench. It's kind of right in the middle of my foot. I find this position, specifically with the foot, is going to help get glute activation versus lower hamstring activation. The other rationale for why I included this in my top 7 exercises to activate your run-specific muscles is because this really targets the upper part of the hamstring and the hamstring tendon. It is very common in distance runners who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s to get upper hamstring tendinopathy or upper hamstring pain, and this will help prevent this and start to load this tendon from the beginning. All right, guys, we got to switch legs. We're going to go second set. Here we go. Squeeze the glute. Down nice and slow. Yes. And bring it up. Squeeze the glute. And down nice and slow. Notice how my abs are nice and tight as well. So you're kind of tightening the lower abdominals, keeping kind of everything in a nice straight line in the top position. So kind of from the knee to the hip to the shoulder. Down nice and slow. And so this is getting that like posterior chain that we talk about with running, kind of the hamstrings as well as the glutes. That's the whole goal here. You should be getting a nice little burn. All right, switch legs. Last set. Here we go. Our elevated single leg bridge. And this is the last exercise we're going to do lying down, and then we're going to actually stand up, and we're going to wind up popping off the shoes and socks. So if you don't have them off, then you're going to have to pause this video to do that for the next exercise. Good. So we're going to lift it up, squeeze the glute, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Down slow. How slow can you go? There we go. Here we go. Feel that glute. Like, you could see me making some facial expressions here. I'm working hard, right? Because I'm getting a good squeeze. It's all about the squeeze, guys. All right. You did it. Woo! That was the last of our lying down exercise. Let's stand it up. Take those shoes off, socks off. Here we go. Short foot, activating our deep foot muscles. Place your right foot in front of the left. Staggered stance. Spread the toes out. Make your feet nice and flat. And what you're going to do is you're going to perform a short foot by pushing the tips of the toes down and where our pressure is, and then you're going to relax. So you're going to activate short foot by using 3 points of contact, the tripod of the foot, under the big toe, under the little toe, and the heel bone. And you're going to raise your arch. And we're going to do this 5 repetitions on the right foot first before we switch to the left. So we're activating. You can see my arch kind of raise a little bit, and then down nice and slow. So good control on the way down. Activate, and then down nice and slow. 5 reps, and now we're going to switch to the left. So put your left foot in front, spread the toes out, 3 points of contact, tripod foot, and you're going to create this little tent effect, raising the arch without curling the toes, and then you're relaxing. So you're going to activate, short foot, and relax. This helps to activate our deep foot muscles, which is like our foot core. So it actually helps support our arch. So this would be like the treatment, essentially, and the goal for those of you who wear arch supports, custom foot orthotics, is to actually use your muscles to actually support your arch, which is going to help maintain healthy feet with all the miles that we do, and will help prevent plantar fasciitis with running, help prevent posterior tibial tendon pain, and even Achilles pain. So this should be the last rep on that left side. So now we're going to do the second part of this series, which is we're going to alternate right and left. So staggered stance, right foot in front of the left. You're going to do right short foot, left short foot, and relax. So right, left, relax. Right, left, relax. And right foot, left foot, relax. And right, left, relax. So switch feet, left foot in front of the left, spread the toes out. We're going to go short foot, left, right, relax. So now we're going to activate left, right, relax. We're going to do this 5 times. Notice how my right toes are kind of scrunching down. This is because I filmed this when I first started doing this exercise. I wasn't very good at it. You don't want to do that. Just the tips of the toes down. Don't curl and scrunch the toes. All right, so less is more here. You don't have to do 100% contraction. Last exercise. So now we're going to combine right and left. So now you're going to activate both at the same time. Kind of activate, short foot, and relax. And activate. So you should see that arch come up just a little bit. You don't need to like squeeze and bear down 100% muscle contraction. Less is more with this one. Think about like a 50% muscle contraction. So you're not curling the toes. And if they're curling a lot, you can always relax and like straighten them out, splay them out. All right, let's switch sides. So now we're going to do both, but the left foot's going to be in front. So staggered stance, left in front. We're going to activate both at the same time. Hold it. And then relax. And we're going to activate, hold, and relax. And we're going to activate, hold it, and relax. Last one, activate, and relax. Hey! All right, guys, we're going to grab our ball. This is going to be the 6th exercise. Calf raise with ball squeeze. So what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze the ball between your heels. You're going to rise up on your toes. Squeeze the ball in, bring it out, and then lower down slowly. So we're squeezing, lifting up, lowering down, squeeze, lift it up, lower down. We're going to do 12 repetitions total. And we're going to superset this with our last exercise. So we're going to go back and forth between those two exercises. Make sure you're not leaning into the wall here. We're holding on to something for light balance, but not leaning into the wall. Think string pulling your head straight upward. And push in and down nice and slow. And rise up and down nice and slow. Rise it up. So we're coming down to the end here, last rep. And we're going to go to our front step-up exercise. And so we're going to grab our step, or if you have a staircase on the lowest step, or maybe the second step, you're going to rise straight up, squeeze the quads at the top, down nice and slow. You're going to hold on for light balance with the other. Sometimes you only need like 2-finger balance. So I don't want you pulling up with the arm, but we're going to do 12 repetitions of our front step up to target the quad muscles. We're also working the glutes as well. So we're squeezing the quad at the top, down nice and slow, and squeeze, down nice and slow. Think about pushing down on the middle part of your foot, not the ball of your foot, not like all on the heel, like right in the middle of your foot. And you can do this one barefoot, by the way. And it would be nice to activate that short foot as well. So now we're going to switch legs. So now we got to do the other side. So when you step up, what I want you to think about is actually driving, squeeze, and then as you're lowering, you're making sure that the center of your kneecap is tracking over your second toe. So if you were to look down, your kneecap's over your second toe, not over your first, not inside of your first. If it's there, that means you're collapsing inward. That's what we call like a dynamic valgus. It's a very common pattern that we tend to see, especially those of you with weak hips. So you want to make sure that we're encouraging this movement pattern by coming down straight and not dipping the knee inward. And last couple of reps here, and then we're going to go back to the calf raises. So we're going to grab our ball, and we're going to head on over. We're going to hold on something for light balance. And if this is a little too easy for you guys, you can actually do this off the edge of a step. So you can do this on your stairs where you're doing the front step up. So I didn't note that before, but this is a nice starting point for you guys to start just on the floor. And make sure the biggest key to this exercise is driving the big toe down into the ground. And that's what the ball is for. It's going to encourage more contraction of the posterior tibial tendon and driving that big toe into the ground, which is what we want when we run. We want to drive that big toe into the ground. It helps us with propulsion. We're more efficient, helps prevent plantar fasciitis, posterior tib pain. So this is very important for strengthening. So we're strengthening the whole calf muscle complex, your gastroc, your soleus muscle, your posterior tib, and we're even getting some deep foot, short foot contraction. So now we're going to switch back to the front step-ups. Second set, here we go. We're going to step it up. Squeeze that quad. Watch the tracking on the way down, that you're coming down nice and straight, and you're coming down with slow and good control. That is an eccentric contraction of that muscle, and that's what we need because that's what happens when we're running. That muscle is contracting eccentrically. So we're really working on the control of this muscle group. This is very important for those of you who might have suffered from runner's knee in the past. Great way to strengthen the quads with focus on tracking of the kneecap. Or those of you who might have patellar instability and you have loose kneecaps, you've been told. This is going to be very helpful for you. So now we're going to switch legs and we're going to do 12 reps. Here we go. We're going to hold on light balance. Make sure your shoulders are back. Squeeze the quad down nice and slow. And squeeze it and down nice and slow. If this is too easy for you, you could go a little slightly higher step. The other thing is you can actually do some variations of this. So this is kind of like the first level step up. You can do a side step up. You can do a side step up with a kick. You can do a step down. So all those are kind of progressions, but this is a nice starting point for most of you to really activate the quads and the glutes. Last couple of reps here. And then we're going to repeat
for our third set. So this is our first series of exercises that we're doing 3 sets. Now we're going to go back to the calf raises. Such an important muscle group, guys. Place that ball in between the heels. Really squeeze the ball. Rise up. Push down through your big toe. So if I were to put a quarter underneath your big toe bone, the ball of your big toe, you want to squish the quarter into the ground as you rise up. All right? I don't want you going to the outside of your ankles. So for those of you who have had a history of ankle sprains, ankle instability, you roll your ankles a lot, you've been told you have loose ankles, this is a fantastic exercise for you. Helps get that foot and ankle stability. Super important for running, and even more so because our calf muscles, out of any other muscle group that we have when we run, these are contracting the most percentage-wise of any other muscle group. So I do find it's very common for a lot of runners to have underlying weakness of their calf muscles. This is the foundational way to work on strengthening the calf and your foot and ankle. Last couple reps here. Squeeze. We should feel a nice little burning going on. All right, you finished the calf raises. All right, third set of the step-ups, guys. Last exercise. And man, you would have activated all of your run-specific muscles. I'm super proud of you guys, especially if you've never really done strength training before or this type of strength training. Now remember, this isn't like lifting heavy traditional strength training. The whole goal of this whole exercise series is to activate. So we're sending signals from our brain to our run-specific muscles, teaching our body how to activate these muscles. And once we do this for a while, then we can progress to rebuilding and strengthening those muscles. And there are different exercises I'm going to have for you in order to do that. But this is kind of like the ground level, and it's a great way to really activate these muscles. All right, switch legs. Last set. Here we go. Last 12 reps, and then you're done. And you're going to really feel that once you do this consistently, 2 to 3 times a week for a good 4 weeks, you're going to notice a difference with your running. Your legs aren't going to feel as sluggish. They're not going to feel as heavy. So I know these might not be the most fun exercise that you've ever performed in your life, but trust me, there's a method to the madness, all right? Things will get easier. Things will get more fun as we go along. So hang in there. Last couple of reps here, and then you are good to go. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for dedicating this time to strength. Celebrate you.
Welcome back. And I sincerely hope that you really enjoyed this workout, that you felt it in all the right places. You felt those muscles burning, and congrats to you for finishing it. And if you really enjoyed it, hit that like button. Number one, it will actually save it in your like folder so you can come back and actually follow along and do this workout again. And then number two, it's going to really help to allow me to create content just like this for runners just like you, so you can continue to get stronger, run faster, and enjoy lifelong injury-free running. And you can stay up to date with the latest instructional exercise video for runners by making sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, just so you're notified when the latest video drops. And if you really like these exercises and you want the next level, or you really want exercises specific to your unique needs, whether you're marathon training, half marathon training, or maybe you have a history of runner's knee, or you get shin splints every time that you train, that's exactly what we do with our signature Spark Healthy Runner coaching program. Not only do we provide you personalized run plan, depending upon what you're training for or what your busy, unique needs are with life, but we also give you customized strength training exercises and a structured program that is going to really help get your body stronger, that is designed to your specific needs, whether you have, tight hips, you have a bad knee, or you have stiff ankles. Like, we're going to determine your specific problem areas and design your strength training program to help overcome those problem areas. And we do that all with full one-on-one support, as well as accountability throughout, and an amazing community. You can learn more about our signature Spark Healthy Runner coaching program by just going to learn.sparkhealthyrunner.com/coaching. And if it's for you, you can schedule a call with me, and you and I will determine if you're a good fit for the program, and we will see if it is going to help you meet your running goals and stay healthy along the way. And not only is it important to strengthen our run-specific muscles, but if you like this routine, you will certainly love my top 7 foam roller exercise routine that is really great to do before this workout, as well as recovery after your runs. So click the instructional video that I have for you next to learn how to foam roll your run-specific muscles. As always, let's maintain a strong mind, a strong body, and let's just keep on running. Thanks for watching.